Hey everybody, just a quick message from Bald and Bonkers Network. We would like to remind everybody that certain topics of discussion may not be comfortable for all listeners. Certain viewpoints may not reflect those of our partners, sponsors, affiliates, our hosts, or that of our guests. We would like to encourage everybody to keep a respectful and open climate of discussion for all topics, no matter how disturbing they may be. So viewer discretion is advised.
In life, you never know what crystals may just lie inside what you see. This is The Inner Court, featuring Smith Family Paranormal Investigations. Uncover the gems deep inside the mysteries to see what you discover.
Good evening, folks. We will be sharing this out, but before I do so, I will introduce Samuel. He will be doing the show this evening on preparation of the bug out bags, how to stay safe while investigating, and the investigation bag of equipment if you are not a sensitive, or even if you are sensitive and want to show equipment side on top of your abilities. So tonight will be that night. Come and join.
Well,
Hi,
thank
Sam.
you. Hey, thank you, Linda. Well, this one is actually, I take an honor because of Chad and Linda. I take this honorably. Some people that I've known in the past, not necessarily just Chad and Linda, my suggestions have saved their tail end on keeping a bug out bag. And then there are some people who says, I wish you would have effing listened to you. And so, but the thing is, with Chad and Linda, they always listen to me no matter what. So I guess what we'll do is we'll get started on it.
I'll call you when I'm done. Go ahead, Sam. Sorry.
I guess I'll get started on this, but keep this in mind. This is individual, but in Chad and Linda's company now, it is a requirement to any kind of investigation. You want to carry a bug out bag. If you wish to work for them, they have no problem with that and everything. But if you don't, after a certain amount of times, you're getting tossed on your butt if you do not carry one. Okay, now keep this in mind. There are five. The person who taught me everything I know on the issue of bug out bags, there are 5 requirements that you have to have 24/7, no matter what it is. He taught me 4, but I said 5, and we have a difference of opinion on it. But in all honesty, you're not always going to agree with everyone, but we came close. So let me start by this. These are water packs. If you're seeing these are water packs of emergency essentials. Each one of these has a 3 to 6 6-year lifetime period. And the reason why is because water is the substance of life. If you do not have water, at some point you will die. There's no getting around it. And with water, it saves your tail end time and time again. And so if you're out there on the field doing some kind of investigation, or even if you are just going camping or hiking, it is an essential to have water on hand at all times. Added on to that, what happens if you get injured? If you get injured, how are you going to flush out a wound without water? And some of those things you do not want. You want those out, those particles, whatever it is. And to some degree, water is the perfect way of flushing out dirt, debris, anything and everything you have. Now, for me, what I made this bag out of is an individual bag. Is it for my individual self? No one else, just me. And so in saying that, I have it. What works for me is 3 days worth of water, but I use them sparingly. Like I said, these are 3 packets, but there is also another thing I use to add on to the water. This is a filtered water bottle. if you ever heard the term life straw, a life straw is in it. A life straw is in it, and a life straw filters out a ton of impurities. And if you're at a creek or something like that, there is no guarantee it'll filter out everything, but you have a fighting chance. Now, this will hold like 1 liter worth of water. So say like if you're at a pond or a lake, that's freshwater, of course, you'll be able to, how can I put this? You'll be able to filter out most of the contaminants, the alloys and everything. You have it fighting, that gives you a fighting chance. Now let's get to the obvious. This is food. Now, this is food as if you didn't know. It's contained in a seal pack. My good friend, the one that taught me everything I know, made a bunch of these. I call these snack packs. It's about 300 to 400 calories per thing, but you want to use it sparingly because, like I said, if you are out there in the field, you do not want to go through all your resources because you don't know how long it's going to be. This right here is a classic MRE. Let me see if you guys can see it. It's got all the things that you have. It's upside down. It has all the things that you might need. And so if you're reading it, it's not half bad. Not the greatest, not the worst, but it will help you out. Now, added on to it, this thing contains 300 calories. You need 1,600 to 22 or 2,300 calories per day to be at top-notch efficient. But if you don't have the resources that you might need in the way of that, then you need to take your time and prepare for it that way. Hello, Anna Marie. How are you doing tonight? So that's food, which you do not want to dismiss on. And that's 2 categories of water. Now, I'm going to sidetrack a little bit. Now, there is the issue of fire. Fire is very essential depending on your geography. And the reason why I say that, well, it's obvious this time of year. I live in Oregon now, and things are freaking cold. It is over the top freaking cold, and I have not seen crap yet. I have not seen anything. And so this is a lighter. This right here is a lighter, which is also protected, as if you didn't see that. It is it's in a waterproof container. It's in a waterproof container and also surrounded by plastic, so you have less of a chance of breaking your lighter. This I will not light, but this right here is a fuel tab. And the fuel tab, if you can find dry brush, dry sticks, things like that, and you make a pit and you want to start a fire, it's not always going to work 100%. But with the fuel tabs, keep that in mind. With the fuel tabs, you have more of a chance of lighting it and also keeping it lit because it makes the fire go longer. So say like you've got a bunch of sticks or a bunch of leaves and sticks and you made a pit, you have the fire, you have the thing, it will work a little bit easier. So like I said, you have a fighting chance. Now, like I said, if you get lost out in those woods or even a desert, everyone, and most people don't know this, but a desert gets very cold at night. I don't give a darn what you say, but if you're out there in those woods and everything, you need to stay freaking warm, and there's no getting around it. Otherwise, you're done. Now these are name brands. I'm going to have to flip them around. I don't want to get a copyright. These are hand warmers. Now, hand warmers, keep that in mind, will keep your hands warm for a certain amount of time. And if you're out there in those woods and you're getting the wind, you get a little cold with the water vapor, it's going to feel worse and everything. So each one of these, like I say, each one of these will hold a certain amount of heat for you for a certain amount of hours. And it will warm you up a little bit here, a little bit there. But if you can, and the reason why I'm saying this can be pertaining to fire. And with fire, it's so freaking necessary, and it does the job. And it does the job. Now, here's another thing that you could say relates to fire. Unfortunately, well, we don't need these, according to Linda. Glow sticks. We don't need these. But I disagree.
You do.
No, Linda, no. What would I need to see my own way in life?
I don't know. Getting lost is the adventure of life.
For God's sakes, is it really necessary to prevent blindness out in the middle of nowhere? No, I've got quite a few of these. I'll give an example of this. As you can see, it does have a certain amount of light. It can't really be seen on this. It's not really given the justice it deserves. So if you're seeing this, it's a lot lit up, and the camera's not giving it justice, but it does that. Now, if you're out in the middle of nowhere, like I said, if you're out there in the middle of nowhere and it's pitch black dark, you need to be able to see. Now, my suggestion, just mine, you throw those, you crack them, and you shake them up, and you throw them on the ground. If you can't find, it looks like any way you can't find your way. And I joke around about it, but you want to have those on hand 24/7, because if you're out there, you get lost, at least you have a fighting chance of making it back to your destination. And what else is it? These come in 25s. One of my favorite stores in the world, Dollar Tree. If you're to go there, pick some of these up. Has 25 in a pack, and you'll be able to find your way. So that has to do with fire. And so now this one, now I'll get off the topic for just a little bit. These are emergency ponchos. Now, what's interesting about these, which is most people think poncho, they think a huge piece of plastic. And I don't blame them. I don't blame them all. But if you can, and you can, and if you can, you spend a little money and you can get these, because they have a Mylar blanket in every single one of them that's lined on the inside of it. So say like, I gotta put this. So say like it's cold as anything, and then water starts to, and a good old rain starts to happen. Keep that in mind. A rain starts to happen. You're going to have more potential of keeping your body heat and keeping yourself dry as opposed to that. Because a Mylar blanket is very handy, but it's very hard to wear. This one is much easier and has that. Now, if you flip it around, having the inside outside, you have the inside on the outside, guess what? And so like you're in a desert, you could put that on and it will reflect the sun. Sort of like a reflection. It will reflect the sun off of you, giving you more of a fighting chance. And so with that, you have better odds. So, like I said, keep in mind what I'm doing is something that is, how can I put this, of one person. So if one person has all of that, has that going, you have more of a chance of dealing with it in that sort of way. So this one is a Mylar blanket. It's like a fancy piece of aluminum and everything. It's not super comfortable, but it is, but isn't. But keep this in mind also. What happens if somebody gets hurt and you want to retain their body heat for preventing them from going into shock? That will slow down the issue of shock. Is it perfect? No, not by any means. But do you have a chance? Yes. You have a chance of preventing it from making it worse. So I'm going to go into another subject that my mentor and I disagree, but we do agree. Well, I'll get back to, let me get back to that one. We're going to go into first aid. Now, with first aid, people have to have their medications. There's no getting around it. All of us have our body quirks and everything. We all do. But this right here is like, and I ripped it off, but this for me is 2 days worth of medication that I have. And the reason why you take 2 days worth of medication, if you get lost, and I know I keep saying that, but if you get lost out there and you think, oh, I'm going to be out there for 8 hours, what if you take the wrong freaking trail? What if you do?
And I will interject on that one because when we went to the Pocomo, we actually did. So all of that came in very handy that night.
Yeah.
Especially our human GPS to get us out.
Yeah.
So all of this stuff that he is talking about is very, very serious. And that is why Smith Family, our company, requires all associates. We will help you get those. It's not that we're letting you do thousands of dollars of equipment on your own. God, no, because I would never get there. Hey, News Network. How you doing, hon? Thank you for coming in. It's just one of those, I'm a mother, and Sam can tell you, when it comes to my employees, my mother hen in me not only kicks out with my kids, but with my employees.
Yeah.
If something were to happen to you guys, I don't know what I would do. I would go crazy.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those, I want to make sure, and so does my husband, make sure everybody is taken care of, everybody is equipped and is able and trained, well trained to handle the equipment if need be. Not all of us have the means, like Trad and I do, to pair up and have a buddy system. But it is fantastic if you have it. But if not, then you have the equipment to maintain your well-being and your safety while you're out there collecting evidence. And that is the main purpose of the bug out bag, the equipment bag. You can combine all that in one. There was one time that we did do that, and it worked. We just eliminated the equipment that we needed. My husband is tuning into his abilities. I have my abilities, and we just went with it. So this is very, very important that, it is known that it is well needed out there. And with that, I mean, we are open to other employees and people that are into either research or research and investigation. If you can't do both, then we get it. If you have a computer, then you can research archives, or, you can touch bases with the library or, a historical society and just do reports. Then we can handle the investigations. It's not that big of a deal, but it's fun because not only are we educating, but we get to dive in and learn things ourselves to educate others on what is out there, whether it's true, whether we can debunk it, whether we can prove that it's real versus, with pictures and videos. I mean, my husband and I and Sam, we go out there full force, as long as we're prepared, that's what matters. So.
Well, also keep in mind, Chad and Linda are amazing whenever it comes to the equipment, the electronic equipment. They know their stuff inside and out. Now, me, as they both know, I take a different approach. Because here's in Pocomo, we got lost and everything. But keep in mind, this adds on to it. If you don't there are times where a GPS signal is not going to happen. Hopefully you never have one of those times. But if you do have one of those times, you have to have your wits end about you and be prepared like there is no other. And add on to it. What's going to happen if you run out of power on your phone and everything? You run out of your power on your phone and you can't get a GPS signal, you're on your own, whether you want to believe it or not. Now, Chadlin,
you can get one of these guys.
Yeah.
They do not always work where there is no signal. It is meant no signal. There's not going to be any signal. Where we went this past weekend, Daniels, we do have an incredible video coming out next week. This did not work at all. And the crazy thing is, I went to go film and I turned around and the battery was fully charged, but the camcorder turned off on its own. And all of the video that I had prior to that, I lost.
This is one of the reasons why you carry a bug out bag. Now, Chad and Linda, I got them turned on to bug out bags. Not until recently, they took it more seriously than ever. Yeah. Now, they do have one of these. As you can remember, let's see if I can get this showing up. This is called a compass. Some of you might know what it is. If you don't, that's okay. But a compass, you do not need a GPS. You do not need a GPS.
Or at least a human GPS.
He's got a point there. I mean, definitely. He's definitely got a point. But you have to remember with the compass, a compass is different in the way that you don't need a GPS for it to work. But you have to have an idea of where you're at. Now, say like if you're in the south and you go up north, a compass, if you follow it in reverse where it says north, you follow it south. That way you have more of a chance. Now, I know I covered these, but the glow sticks, if you have a trail of them and you're following them south, you're on the right path. You are on the right path and there's no getting around it. You can use the compass, you find the glow sticks, follow the glow sticks, you can make it home, no problem. And Chad and Linda, like I said, they have a compass and everything. And a human GPS would be much better, but you can't count on it. No. But the thing is, with the compass, you have a chance. With the glow sticks, you have a chance. Now, I'm going back over what I said. Now, if somebody is a diabetic or they have hypoglycemia, they're going to need to eat at some point. Now, they need to eat at some point. And carbs are the secret to everything out there. Now, with what I showed you, that's a day and a half to 2 days worth of supplies just for me. But if I was a diabetic and I was crashing, my tail end is getting on a log and I'm going to eat. And am I going to have a perfect meal? No. But I can get enough nutrients and calories in my system to sustain me for a few more hours. And so you take your time. Now, I'm going to show you.
Oh.
Yes.
Chat.
What do you say?
No, not glow sticks.
Or machete, but definitely leggings. Definitely leggings. I mean, I need to make my butt look good out in the field of nowhere.
It's hilarious.
We will never let that down. We never will. but in a more serious,
because we had an experience this past weekend, and I was on live with Sam afterward about the whole being a diabetic. Chad is a diabetic, and he started feeling lightheaded. And with that, he sat down and pulled out one of the MRE granola bars, apple cinnamon. I've never had them, but they were actually pretty good. And within a few minutes, Chad was feeling a lot better. It's because his sugar started to drop. Because we were out hiking. We had water. But it was just one of those, you can't help it when you're out and you're walking. It happens. So we were just grateful that we had that. You know, it comes in handy. It really, really does.
And also added on to it the shelf life of it. So say like if you take it, if you take it out here or take it out there and everything, and you don't need it for a few trips, even like a year down the road, but it's still in your bug out bag, it's going to stay fresh, if you want to call it that. It's going to stay fresh, and it's kind of dry. It always is with those. They're dry, but it's worth it if it's going to prevent you from dying, it's worth it.
Right. It
You know,
really
that's-
wasn't. It really wasn't that bad. It was
Yeah.
very flavorful. I mean, granted, it was a cube.
Yeah, it's a cute cookie.
Right, but it was not bad at all, and I was
Yeah.
surprised.
But yeah, definitely. Definitely. Now, with all that, like I said, I'm touching on health, and I'm going back on that, and I'm going to keep going on it. Now, you have to remember health can be of anything in first aid. So this is a tiny first aid kit that I have. If I could show this, it's got salves, butterfly closures or whatever they're called, tweezers in case you have to pull something out like a tick or something. This will help your tail end out. And everything. And so with all that, like I said, it does the job through thick and thin. And is it perfect? No. Would I like to have more stuff in it? Yes. I would definitely love to have more stuff in it. But you got some people have to think on a budget. Now, like I said, if like Linda got stuck out somewhere, Chad and Linda got stuck out somewhere, and it's ice freaking cold, and it's over the top ice freaking cold, and so like Linda gets injured, you don't want to go too far with an infection or this or that. You don't want to take that chance. The Mylar blanket with the water, you can flush it out, get what you can, put some of the salve onto it from that little first aid kit, and then wrap it up with the bandage and put this over the person. Is it going to be perfect? No. But you're going to have a fighting chance with it? Yes. And like I said, I know I keep going over things. This is about a day and a half to 3 days worth of medication if I was to stretch it out. As you can see, the pills are in there, and it does the job of keeping my stuff in there. Okay, and then but like I said, that's how it goes. Now, these, whether people want to believe it or not, a lot of people's eyesight is getting worse. For a lot of people, their eyesight is getting worse. But if you're out there, like I said, if you are out there, what happens if you get something in your glasses? If you get something in your glasses and it's like, and you get most of the stuff off, you're going to have some clouding in your glasses. These are lens wipes. You can use these on cameras. You can use them on glasses. You can even use them on your phone. If you're using your phone, you can do that. And it does the job. Is it perfect? No, but at least you'll be able to see. Mm-hmm. But light sticks are not really that worthwhile. So,
yes, Miss Stone, I'm a nurse, so I know butterfly enclosures really suck. I get that. But when you're out and about, if you don't have the sterile strips, which would definitely work a lot better than the butterfly closures on top of whatever else you have. Like I have ace bandages and a whole bunch of stuff. If you're not fully equipped of what you can have, then what you have on hand would work the best. So we're just technically just going over what he has.
Yes, they have
sterile strips and Amazon. Yes, you can.
Yeah, you have to remember something also. If you are trying to make a bug out bag, you have to think along the lines of cost. If somebody is low on money, but they are doing what they can to make a bug out bag that's worthwhile and everything, and they have to stick to a budget, that's the way to go. Sterile strips, yes, there's no argument. They are better than butterfly closures. They really are. But you have to think along with lines of a budget. This one, not a lot of people address. Some people do. But in bug out bags, you have to remember the size of what you want to carry, number one. And number two, the weight of it. You have to remember the weight of what you carry. Hey, I love you too, Chad, my honey bun.
Nice sweatshirt.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but Chad and Linda made me this. I have kept it. Keep in mind, I lost a lot of stuff on my move, and I got this. And I definitely got that, and I wear it even more so. I did in Florida, but not like I do here. Now, on the issue of first aid, this is disgusting, but it's a reality. We all have to take a crap at some point. This is a bag that you're going to need to catch your fecal matter on and everything, because you don't want to get something that catches your scent just in case you have some kind of animal predator out there. You do not want it catching your scent. And crap smells pretty freaking bad, and it's going to catch a scent. So with that, I consider that part of first aid. I consider that an essential part of first aid, no matter where you go, and also to the level of hygiene. Now, hygiene can mean many, many different things. Hygiene can be with brushing your teeth, rinsing yourself off in some sort of way, so that way you can prevent infection. And there you go. But yeah, yes, Miss Stone, it definitely is. Like for me, what's essential is brushing my teeth, as if people don't understand that. But brushing your teeth can prevent you from getting a lot of sicknesses out there. And those sicknesses, you don't want to play around. If you can, wash your face or rinse your face off and everything, because you don't want to take the chance of pink eye. You don't want to take a chance of this and that. And so with all of that, you have a better chance. Now, with these hand warmers, I'm not going to say the brand, but these hand warmers, you have to remember, they can heat up water. Are they perfect? No, they're not perfect. But you have a chance with heating up your water in that sort of way. You have a chance of heating up your water if you need to do that. What else is there?
So back to the MREs.
Yes, ma'am.
My goodness, we're not doing any tests today. We know we won't find anything.
Yeah.
So going back to MREs, this is an emergency food radiation bar that we kicked into the other day.
Mm-hmm.
And to give you a look of what it looks like, mind you, we did open it over the weekend. It was in a Ziploc bag, but it would have 6 bars on it. Of course, we cut one off for Chad and I because he was feeling lightheaded. But this has 2,400 calories in a total in the entire bar. And if I'm reading this right, this is per serving. 1 bar is 400 calories. A meal ready to eat MRE. Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about. So this is, and it didn't even have that much sugar, honestly. And I was shocked.
Mm-hmm.
Sugar was 15 grams. I thought it was going to be a hell of a lot higher, to be honest. It was not. So we will be going to the warehouse, Chad knows, and stocking up and boxing and whatnot and getting it ready.
Yeah.
So we will be doing it in different kinds, meals. Yeah, that is a lot. I know. But I honestly thought it was going to be a higher number, to be honest.
Yeah.
So for a survival thing out there, if you need it, if it comes down to it, then that'll save a life.
Well, added on to it, that brick, before you open it as a brick, you can feed maybe 4 to 5 people. Well, my suggestion with it is use it for 3 people. Have 2 bricks for 3 people. So say like if you have a party of 6, use 2 of those for 3 people, and they
Right.
can eat for a day and a half and everything.
Yeah.
Um,
And this is exactly what Chad had, and he just nibbled around there. He didn't even eat the entire thing.
and
And
you
I
felt better.
right. And that's the whole thing. Just because this is considered one serving does not mean you have to eat that one serving.
Yeah,
You can, if you start feeling filled, start feeling satisfied, then you could stop, put it
Yeah.
away. But it's there to help with nutrition when you're out in God knows where and nowhere land,
And another thing also with all this, you have to make sure that you conserve your food. You have to make sure you can conserve it. And with those bars, which they swear by more than anybody else, those bars, they last. They last as long as they're not heavily encountered with water. They're going to last for a while. So say like I said, if you're out in the middle of freaking nowhere, you're out in a more serious note, in the middle of freaking nowhere, and you need to stop and everything to eat, that will last you as long as there's no water. It will help you quite a bit. And
Right.
yeah, for a party of 3, it'll do nicely for a day to a day and a half. Yes, he's definitely right. But you want it to where it will last everybody in your party.
Right.
So it does help.
This could feed 3 people
Mm-hmm.
easily.
Yeah.
So we just split one, and then the other one we finished. By the time we were done, we were out there for at least 4 or 6 hours just filming. So it works. If you're out there camping and you have nothing, or you're stranded and you have nothing, this is beef stew.
Yeah.
And instructions are in the bag, but this is also beef stew, and it has, all you do is heat it up.
You don't even need to heat it. You don't even need to. You can still eat it.
You don't have to, but if you're able to do that, then you can do that.
Yep. And like I said, my friend Derek, he was the one who educated me on all this, educated me heavily. And that thing of beef stew that can feed 2, maybe 2 for 2 people, or even 3 people, giving them maybe between 300, maybe 600 calories and everything. Because like I said, you need 1,600 to 22 or even
90 calories per serving.
Yeah, and you need it. Because like I said, you don't know if you're stuck out there. And Chad and Linda are not being hard asses on this. But the reason why they want that to happen is because they don't want you getting hurt or killed out there.
Right.
Because you have a lack of supplies. And that will save your tail end, whether you want to believe it or not. Now, like I said, I know I keep going over it, but this is very important. Okay, so hygiene, like I said, this is my version of hygiene is brushing my teeth. Because if you can get it to where, what if you open your mouth a little too much, like I do? I talk all the time, obsessively. But what happens if you get something in your mouth and it's stuck in there? What's going to get it? Are you going to get it out just by spitting? Maybe, but it's a serious doubt. But if you can brush your teeth or even rinse out your teeth, even rinse them out, it does help and helps hugely. And so with all that, like I said, you have potential of preventing a mouth sore of some kind. What if you have sensitive teeth? You don't brush your teeth after a while. Here comes the pain. Here comes the pain at some point. And some of those foods, there's a lot of salt in MREs. There's a lot, but it's to prevent. Yeah, there's a lot of salt. That's why it lasts for so long. And
now, when we talk about these bags, we are not suggesting that you use them every time you go out. It's called a bug out bag. only for emergency purposes if you
Yes.
get stranded. We are not
Mhm.
saying to make it a daily thing. Every time you go out hiking, I gotta eat. No, it's not. You eat your nutrition, your kill bacteria, and you can wipe it. Yeah, we actually have baby wipes because I have a little one at the house.
That's
And
perfect.
that is awesome for or even I like to use, especially if you have no choice but to do a bowel movement out in the wilderness, the flushable wipes. They work as well, just as well.
Yeah.
And they're just as cheap as the baby wipes. But we are not saying that this is a bag that you, of course, keep it with you everywhere you go if you're out investigating in the wilderness. Now, if we're indoors doing an investigation, we keep it close, like in the car, because the car's parked right outside.
hmm
But it's just a bug out bag can also be called a jump bag. Yeah. And that's so true, babe. But a bug out bag is when you're hiking, like a 3-day, essentially, yeah, it's a 3-day supply. And, you know, for my husband and I, since we're the only ones, we don't like taking the kiddos out in dangerous places like what we do. So if we go out, then we'll take another bag that will have little Cheerio snacks and stuff like that for the kids and whatnot. But with this bag, this is air emergency overnight, stuck in the woods, have nowhere to go, completely lost. My husband and I, you know, we're type of life support, kind of. You know, it's one of those, you're out hiking, and we do it all the time, just about every weekend. And a lot of times, because we're filming, it's in the evening. So we don't know. Yeah, we have our glow sticks, but it doesn't
No,
always.
we don't. We don't have our glow sticks.
I have tons of them. But essentially for the just because.
Yeah.
The what if. Not saying it's going to happen, because 99.9% of the time it does not happen.
But there's that 1%.
Right. You never know what's going to happen with that 1%. You may be stranded miles from your car with a swollen ankle because you fell.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, a lot of people say, well, I could crawl to my car. Well, yes and
It's
no.
not. If you're in Florida and you ever heard of the term sand spurs, you getting that on those are pain. I mean, you think a Lego is bad? That is 10 times worse.
Yeah, my father, I think, had one of those. But
yeah,
it's just one of those. This is a safety net to have with you. Not saying you have to rely on it. If you have other means of putting your own bug out bag together, all means, do it.
Yeah, but if you need
stuck in the woods before in his car, he got lost and see, well, there you go. And not saying we haven't done it, because we definitely have. We got lost in the Pocomo Forest filming. We did a live. It's up on our YouTube channel. And we did. You've seen us panicking, and we did have a bug out bag. We did not have to sleep out there. We did eventually find our way back. I was determined. But we did. We made a wrong turn. And it was okay, because, you know, it's part of life. You live and you learn.
Yeah.
But it can happen. Especially when you don't expect it to happen, it can happen. So
yeah, it does. I mean, the thing is that you have to be on guard, you have to be ready and everything. And I have a lot of influence in the company, but I'm not the boss by any means. And if somebody is part of the company and they refuse to have a bug out bag, well, there you go. It's gonna, what's gonna happen.
All right, I'm being kicked out. Hubby's taking second shift. Love you guys. Stay safe. Please consider the bug out bag if you guys would like to join our company. Research and investigation, whatever suits your fancy. All you got to do is email us, and I will put it in the chat as soon as I find my phone. So, love you guys.
Oh, you're good.
I know.
Well, well, like I said, this isn't just the investigation bag, but I'll bring a few more things into it. This is my little hatchet, and it does the job. And keep in mind, it also has a part of it flint and steel, something for like wrenches, bolts, or and everything. If you see the holes, now I can use it to start a fire, but I don't think that using sparks in an apartment is a good idea. But this is part of it that goes with it. So say like if I was to go like this and I pull it a few times, I'm going to get some sparks going in case that happens. Is this very heavy? No, it's not. So it's not super reliable. It's not super reliable in the way that, well, like I said, it's not super reliable in the way of cutting something open or this or that. It's not super reliable, but it does the job. So say like if you're trying to cut some small branches of this and that for dried brush to start a fire, you have a chance with that. And so let me get into the part of why I call this a metaphysical bug out, a metaphysical investigation bag. As Chad and Linda had given me some goodies and everything for investigations, this, as you do know, most of us know, is a spirit box. Waiting for
Xbox.
If you can hear this,
FM.
this can help you out in finding or giving an entity some amount of voice that it wants for you to have. And with that voice, it does the job and makes things a little easier. This right here is a meter that checks for electricity. So the thing is that with it, if you're in a certain area and it starts going off, you have a chance that it could be picking up some kind of electrical or an entity or both and everything to help it work that sort of way. And as you all know, a knife, which is very important. This one looks like a cheapo, but the blade's quite nasty. That's why I love it. This right here looks like a cheap thing, but it's a battery. So with the battery, keep this in mind, with the battery, it does the job of charging your electronics to a little bit. But with Chad and Linda, they gave me this granddaddy. It's a battery also. And the battery does the job in the way of charging your electrical devices. Now this, I still need to be, I've been lazy as anything, but I need to be buying all this. This is paracord rope. The only time you need rope is when you don't have rope. That's the only time you need it. You can pull something out of the ground, give yourself some amount of leverage. So say like if you had to pull something and you turn it into a pulley type system to get it away from your car tire, you have more of a chance of tying this around a few trees, making it to where you can pull an object away from your car's tire. Or there's other uses for it that are, well, there's too many uses for rope in that sort of way. Now, where did I put that sucker? This right here catches EVPs, electro voice phenomena, or whatever it's called. It does the job and everything. I still have the worst time working it. I can turn it on, but going through it, it's a pain in the butt. But it's worth it if you're doing investigations. So say like you're going through evidence, you catch something on the voice, it does the job. And so what else am I missing? Okay, now I'm going to get into the metaphysical. This one right here, and you have to get stuff that works for you individually. This right here, if you are sensitive, you might pick up on this. This is a watch. It's a wind-up watch. And with this wind-up watch, it's that was blessed by a great friend of mine, but she's a priestess of a Hindu faith, in Hinduism. Love her half to death. And so to some degree, part of it, the metaphysical wise, is that it does the job in getting you going and this and that, pushes negativity, not necessarily negativity, but aggression from you. It pushes aggression from you and does the job on that issue. Now, whenever you're out there on the field, you can't be everywhere. You really can't. You cannot be everywhere. And this is something that they gave me. This right here is a motion detector that does the job and keeps things going. So say like if you're in a cemetery and you're like 30 graves away, but you hear that going, you might be able to catch something depending if you can debunk it or not debunk it. It can work in your favor. Yes, they are. Now, like I said, we all have our talents. Some are different than others. And another thing also, Chad and Linda are incredibly open-minded, over the top open-minded, in the way that if you are a mystic of some kind, they have no problem with it. If you are of the light, they have no problem with that. But even if you are of the darkness, they have no problem with it. They are incredibly open-minded. Me, I'm gray. And they've accepted that, and they never thought of it as a big deal. And they've allowed me to prove myself to them. And if you want to join the company, guess what? They will do you have to prove yourself, but it's not super hard. And they will allow that to happen. Now, this right here, I won't open it, but this is my medicine bag. Medicine bag of several different stones, crystals of this and that, and it works for me in the way of prevention. And also it has a watch that's broken to holy hell, but it was blessed by 3 different faiths. So it does the job for me and helps me out. Now, this is where I'm getting into the metaphysical. Let me see if I can show this. If you can see this, this is a mobile altar. If I could carry this onto a plane or something like that, I would absolutely adore that. But really can't. But these are 5 candles. There are 5 little candles, but it does the job. I use that to make a 5-point star, or in other words, a pentacle. The 5 points of the pentacle. And with the 5 points of the pentacle, it gives me a neutral start to allow me to line things up. And so with that, it helps quite a bit. This, if you've ever worked with kids, you'll know what this is. It's chalk. So what I do with this is I make a circle. And I start with the 5 points. And it does the job for me on that. This right here is lancets. These are lancets. If I can get one out. As you can tell, these are lancets. I'm not going to open it up. But with lancets, I could do a blood ritual with the 5 points and turn it into a 10-point star. Some people like that, some people don't. But it's just how it is. This right here is a bell, which is obvious. This is perfect for finishing or starting a ritual. And with the ritual, it can protect you because there are certain entities out there that hate certain sounds. So in case if you have to defend yourself, or prevent yourself from getting hurt, there's a lot of them that hate that little cute crystal-like sound. And it does the job on that. Now, this one is the most controversial thing I have. I have a great friend named Sarah. She gave me this and everything. I didn't know what it was at first, and then all of a sudden I see GYD. In other words, this is grave dirt. For some people, they hate that sort of thing. I didn't know I had it until it was too late, but I'm not getting rid of it because it can help out. And certain people that Chad and Linda have consulted and agree with me, just because you're of the light doesn't make you all good. Just because you're of darkness doesn't make you all bad. So the thing is, if you were to get, I'm going to put this, if you were to get assaulted by something that is of the light, like an entity that is of light and assaults you, you have a great chance of getting rid of it by using graveyard dirt. And entities that are of the light that are aggressive will hurt you if you don't take advantage, take advantage of you and other things like that. Now, this right here, oh, that's the wrong one. This right here, this is like textbook proof. If you want to ask a general question, but you know you can get a yes or no to it, this is called a pendulum. Get in some sort of light so people can see it. This is a pendulum. Now, I can use it, but I have to normally use 2 hands for it to keep it still. But Chad and Linda had given me that one, and very grateful, by the way. But that's how it goes on the issue of that. So say like if I'm asking questions and my electricity goes out on my gadgets, well, I have a better opportunity. Unfortunately, whenever it happens, you can't record it, but you can save your tail end. You can get some advice of this and that. Now on the tech part, on the move that I made over here, somehow I lost my phone holder. In other words, my tripod phone holder, so I had to get another one. This one is very good. I'm not complaining. Chad and Linda got me a good one too, but somehow it got lost.
It looks like the same one. It looks exactly like the one we got you.
No, actually, yours made more sense, but it can only hold things at certain angles. This can hold left to right because if you see here, if you squish it down enough, it just goes like this. This one will make it to where it goes up and down. Like I said, I prefer the one that you guys gave me because it's a lot more simple that you guys had, but this one,
it's a tripod too, right?
Yeah, it's definitely a tripod. Like I said, yours, I liked yours because it was more simple. But you go like that, and you put it on the ground, it will hold your stuff a little bit better.
Yeah, we have the same one.
But Chad and Linda's, I think, was better than the one that they gave me. I'm not kidding either. I'm not saying it being nice. What else is there? What else? Okay. Mine was similar to that. Yeah. Yours is simple. I love the simplicity that you guys gave it to me. This one's not as simple. Yeah, theirs is simple and it does the job. That's the advantage that they gave me on that. So now I'm getting back to the metaphysical. One of the things is that with Chad and Linda, they know I can do potions. They know I can do potions well. They know I can. Now, this one is ages ago. And thank you for showing that. But this one is ages ago. If you can feel it or smell it or in everything, if something's of ill intent towards you, it will make that person nauseated bad. Chad and Linda know about people who hate that smell. And now if they hate the smell, they're not welcome in their place. They're not welcome. I won't go into any names, but that will do a number on someone. Now, which one is it? This one is a newer one. Now, if you're sensitive and you're seeing this, you'll see how it goes. If you guys can smell this or sense it, you can see how.
I was going to say, yeah, you might want to. Can't really see it. A little left. right there.
So if you can sense it or smell it or something from where you're at,
Oh,
and
we
you
don't
like
have smell vision yet.
what? Some people can. Some people can, but it does the job. That one's a nasty one. That one, if you have ill intent, it will dispatch, will get rid of certain entities that are kind of vicious. Now, if somebody's of the living, it will make them very uncomfortable, if not nauseated, if they have ill intent towards you. If they have ill intent towards you and they smell that, they're not going to be having a good time. This one right here, let me get this at a better angle. This one right here is something that's a good one, but it's not very much. You have to remember with this one, it will mess somebody up. If they have ill intent towards you, like an entity, that can banish them. And the other ones can, but not like that one. That one will mess somebody up. Now, I guess I'll open this one, the grave dirt, if I can get it open. This one, be prepared. You might not like it, but if you are able to sense it, be just on guard. So is there any questions anybody wants to ask me? Like I said, this is graveyard dirt. And it's a nasty combination towards things that are not of the light. And if you're not of the light, if you are of the light, you will hate that. Absolutely hate it. Now, where's the other one? This is of blessings. This is a potion of blessings, and it's also a few other things. So, say like a lot of cultures in this world want blessings and everything. Right here is the way to do it. Right there is the way to do it, and there you go. And it does the job. Now, like I said, with Chad and Linda, they will probably forever take my advice on anything and everything. But if you do join the company, they'll receive you with open arms, no problem. But you have to follow their guidelines no matter what. Okay, let me see if I can find this. Okay. This right here, because I call it a mobile altar, this is to mix everything up, and to some degree, you can put a little bit of fire to it, making it a little stronger, but making less of it. In other words, lighting it on fire and putting it in here will do the job in doing all that.
So Ghost Squad Scotland is Chris, I believe. Okay, do you just dig it up in a graveyard, or do you wait till a grave is being dug up?
It's hard to explain. I will probably never use it. Unless it's an absolute must. But some people, especially my friend, which I disagree with her on, but I will never be a jerk to her about it. She actually went into the grave and took some of the dirt. There was the casket was in there. She took some of the dirt and put it into that. And so, like I said, she does not play around. If you are her friend and everything, and you are good to her, and something's been messing with you, she will do what it takes. And I had some stuff happen with that. And with her, she doesn't play around. If her friends need her, she will not play around. And so that's how it goes on the issue of grave dirt. That dirt belongs to the deceased, and you're taking the one last few things that belongs to the dead. And you taking from the dead is not always a good thing. But that's what she did. And like I said, I am not complaining with her whatsoever.
So this doesn't necessarily go with the bug out bags, but I think the main thing with the metaphysical, if Linda and I are ever going to someplace like the end of November, we might be going to Pennsylvania, to Gettysburg area, I believe. We'll take our bug out bag. We'll take our equipment bag, but at the same time, we'll probably take this along with us.
Mm-hmm.
This is our metaphysical everything essentials. This one especially, which is our sage and one of your potions there, some Palo Santo wood, some white and black salt and stuff like that. It's our go-to, and then not only that, we also have our gold coin in here from the Crystal Fox. It can be utilized as an offering to pretty much anything and everything. I mean, it's some of the little things, and then the other side has candles. But for the most part, this thing is all crystals. So if we know we're going somewhere and we need protections, we can sit there and pull out all of our crystals and go, all right, we need to make sure we have double up on the black obsidian or some other crystals that we might think about carrying with us. But I mean, we got amethysts, sunstones, moonstones, bloodstones. We even got some fool's gold in here that we can leave as an offering, because sometimes just a little bit of extra being in your arsenal can help out. Not just for let me put the bag.
But you have to remember something with Chad and Linda. They're incredibly open-minded, because if they weren't open-minded, they would have never have talked to me much of anything in life. And Chad and Linda, they work hard at everything and they play hard at everything.
Especially when you guys get once we get our editing software back up online, wait till you see these investigation that we just did.
Hell yeah.
The one we just did this past weekend, it's probably going to end up being two-parter because of how much
footage. Yeah.
It was crazy. I mean, Linda said I went into a deep trance, and apparently my eyeballs were wide open, but my eyes were rolled in the back of my head. That's just a preview. So.
Yeah. But also with Chad and Linda, they know their stuff up and down, whether you want to believe it or not. Me, I just have a different way of thinking, and I have no problem saying that. With them, but with them, the one biggest thing that they listened to me through thick and thin on was the bug out bag stuff. This is the biggest thing that they've listened to me. And now it's rule of law. If you have, now that's how it definitely goes. Now with bug out bags, for me, the metaphysical bug out bags and everything, it's all got to fit. The biggest thing is it has to fit. And the other thing also, what if you have to run? There's a question on that. What if you have something that's a little too strong for you, or even a person that's too big for you? You need a bag that's going to be secure on you. That way you can run without it bouncing out. This is the bag that I have. It's small for me. But all that stuff, theirs is much better. Theirs is much better than mine. But that one right there, it's small, but it does me good, and I don't bounce around on it. Plus, if you really want to also, I suggest this in two parts. If you're going to get a bag, look at some thrift stores. And everything. Not always, but there's often times where those thrift stores will have backpacks of this and that. Go over there, check a few of those places out. See if you can get yourself a good bag that will hold on you and stay secure on you. And also, like I said, I love Dollar Tree. I love Dollar Tree, and I don't give a damn what anybody says. I love it. But with Dollar Tree, you can go over there and you can find some stuff that is very, if not over the top, cheap. And something else I forgot. If you are lost out there, you're secure, you're healthy, but you're out in the middle of nowhere, you're lost, but you're not doing bad. You have to combat something. And here's what you have to combat: boredom. And these are playing cards. Playing cards, I know that sounds stupid, but if you're lost out there, say like your electrical equipment's gone down, that can help you with boredom. And also, if you want, it can also help you with heat in case you have to burn something and to keep a fire going. But whatever the case is, it does help. And it does help with that. And I have no problem suggesting it to anyone. If you are near a Dollar Tree or any kind of store like that, visit it, get that, and don't forget the Crystal Fox. Go to the Crystal Fox. That is crack on wheels. Crack on wheels. It's like if you're sensitive, oh my God, I got to have that. Actually, if you're sensitive, you should never go in there. If you're sensitive, don't ever go in there now that I think about it. Because you go in there, it's like Walmart. You think about $25, you come out with $182.78 worth of stuff you don't need.
Yeah, you only go into Walmart needing milk and eggs, and you come out with milk, eggs, bread, toilet paper, $3,000 worth of equipment and stuff, and it's like, I only came in to get eggs and milk.
Yeah, but you go into the Crystal Fox, it's worse because the products are so great. You don't need all that, and it's wonderful. It's too damn good.
So Linda had bought this for thinking that she could utilize it on her camera or on her phone, and it ended up being 7 times too large for her phone. So and she was going to get rid of it, but I ended up salvaging it and throwing it into our bug out bag. It's a monocular.
Really?
So
that actually,
I just put it on the stand.
Yeah, that's nice.
But literally, she was like, I don't understand how to use it. I'm like, well, it's instead of being, there we go. We can see ourselves. Instead of being a binocular, which is 2, it's a monocular. So we can sit there, and if we know we're going someplace and it's in distance, I mean, it doesn't have a rangefinder, but you can always get a rangefinder to put it on there and be like, okay, we got to go another 200 yards or 300 yards. But if we see something in the distance, we can sit there and put it up to our eye and be like, okay, we got to go that direction.
Yeah. Or you can pick up on where you threw a light stick at,
right,
or something like that. Where the hell did you find that? That's genius.
Amazon.
God, I feel like, why do I even ask that of you two? Why do I? If that makes any sense.
I'm pretty sure that if we had gotten stock in Amazon before it blew all the way up, we'd probably be millionaires. But because Amazon is almost like Crystal Fox. It's like you go in there and you get sucked into a wormhole.
Oh God.
Or a rabbit hole, whatever you want to call it. And with this one, which we got from Amazon also.
Yeah.
It can go the way I had it, which is this direction.
Yeah.
Or you can turn it so that it's this direction, and then the adapter piece slides up. And if you want to fold it down, you just press the button and it folds down. And then it'll hold your camera, like if you need to.
No, I did go into nice.
Good thing to have in your
investigation
bag is an IR camera, infrared camera. It's the ones that have
That's not bad.
little red dots that'll pop up here
Mhm.
when I put in the night mode.
But like I said, with Chad and Linda, they know their stuff, especially equipment wise, abilities, and all that other stuff. They're the 1-2 knockout punch and everything.
And I know Linda didn't want me to show it, but I'm going to show them anyway.
Let's see it.
It's a guy thing.
All right.
Whenever we go out, we do have some kind of protection from
Mhm.
either animal or human. What? Hey, C Def, what's up? And then we also have a larger knife for when we go
Mhm.
or bear.
Well, but yeah, but that's how it definitely goes. Nice. I want to see this sucker.
Just in case we have to whack down trees.
Yeah, you don't need that. You don't need that. According to Linda, you don't need it.
Hey, this was only $5 at Walmart.
No. Even though it's $5, it's not worth it.
Holy moly. Those damn knives, not going to lie, they do help the overgrown weeds and vines, especially the sticker bushes.
Oh yeah.
That's Linda putting that on there. Yeah. The knife, this one is usually on my hip, and it goes with us everywhere. Like I said, it's not only just for
Protection. Yeah.
protection from, like, C Death, a bear.
Yeah.
But just in case if we get jumped from a
The
human,
human.
if we are not aware of our surroundings, in some places we go, we are not aware of our surroundings. So,
Hopefully that never happens.
right. But this will be on my hip. If we hear something, I'll automatically unsnap it. My hand will.
And Chad is a force to be reckoned with.
C Death, you're responsible for protecting your family. Good man. Now, Linda didn't want us to get this when we were in Ocean City because we were like, oh, it's only $5. But eventually we went and got one, and it's helped us out getting through some of the sticker bushes. And just in case we end up having to build our own shelter. If we're stuck out in the woods for a couple of days, this little thing is not going to cut down much. I mean, it'll cut down some stuff, but it's not going to cut down a whole lot. Where this, on the other hand, I can knock down a tree if I need to, or
but yeah, definitely. You have to be on the basics. The basis for all this is to inform people of what they can use and what they can't use, and what will work and what won't work. Everything, if it works for you, go for it. But the biggest thing is you have to remember on what you can carry and what you can't. But with the bug out bag, you need those basic 5 supplies: hygiene, water, fire, food.
Speaking of water, we did open one of these.
How'd it go for you on that?
It didn't taste that bad. I mean, it's emergency pure. It's purified water, so
Yeah.
It helped.
Yeah.
It was one of them 357 Magnum. No, we're not carrying a gun. I mean, if I had a concealed carry permit and stuff like that, I probably would, but it's not something that we're going to be carrying along with us while we're on an investigation. It's just, I'd rather de-escalate something with a knife. Like, okay, I got a knife. I mean, unless they got a gun, then that's not de-escalating anything. But I'd rather de-escalate something. Be like, okay, you can back up. I mean, your best bet is to run the other way. Whereas, I mean, if we were in a spot where we don't know where we're at, then if I had sealed carry, I probably would. But
that's
this right here is concealed enough.
yeah.
And Linda's like, hell no. I'd rather a person be still living than having to worry about their spirit coming back for us after we've just annihilated them with a 357 Magnum.
Yeah. Well, but like I said, that's the thing, is being prepared is now company worldwide policy with Smith Family. It is a bug out bag is a must. Am I wrong?
No.
Okay. Well, but
for the most part, when you join the company and you're starting to do investigations, one of the things we'll do is we'll go with you. I mean, we went with Sam first couple times or it may have been video wise because he was in Florida, but once he came up here and we were able to go with him and show him what we do, we carried the bug out bag. What if you don't have anywhere to bug out to? My house is my bug out bag. Oh, see that? Hey, well, like I said earlier in the chat, the bug out bag is basically, we can classify it as a bug out bag or a jump bag. If we have to leave the house in an emergency, so there's a tornado coming through, that's why that's usually in the car.
Yeah.
It's not, I mean, it's with us, so that way it's in the car. If we have to leave in a hurry, it's grab the kids, grab the cat, and get the hell out of Dodge.
Yeah.
So,
well, I've got a female friend of mine, love her half to death, and she carries one now wherever she goes on that sort of issue. I've got two members of my family, they have a bug out bag in their car wherever they go. And I've got one friend of mine, Miss Ash, love her to death and everything. And she does stuff like that too. And so with all that, you just don't know. Now, especially on investigations, if you're in investigations and it's new territory for you, you especially need to have that on hand. There's no getting around it. You need that on hand wherever you go. And that's, and there's no getting around it. You could get killed very dramatically, very easily if you don't have any supplies. Now, the thing is, Chad is a BAMF and everything. You are. And he would, and if you
he's being polite. I was a former, I can't say former because there's never a former. I was a Marine. So if somebody's going to mess with me, I already know counteractions to a lot of things. So that's why I'm saying I'm a bad mofo.
But he's a trained killer. He was trained to kill. What do you think Marines are? I mean, that's reality. But the thing is, basically out of defense. You threaten him or his family, he doesn't care.
Rambo is Army, but
yeah, I didn't say that.
See that said, OMG, Rambo.
No.
But all right, Sam.
No problem.
We're gonna wrap it up here.
Of course.
Appreciate you coming on tonight talking about this. If you missed anything, rewatch us. And once it does its thing on Twitch, which CDeath on Twitch, the video on demand should be back up here within, I guess, an hour or so. If you're checking us out on Spotify, on Anchor and such, that'll be up. Please subscribe to it, and we will talk to you later on.
Take care, folks. Bye-bye.
Drop you down to the bottom.